Welcome to Determine Out Loud, our podcast series that's all about minding your business in contract management and source to pay. And now, your host, VP of Product Marketing for Determine, Constantine Limbarakis.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Determine Out Loud. Today, I have a special guest, Patrick Stakenas, our CEO here at Determine Inc.
Good morning, Constantine.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. We are doing the interview today here in our corporate headquarters in Carmel, Indiana, and we just want to really have a good conversation today about some of the things that are happening overall at Determine and in the industry since the year started here. And one of the things, Patrick, I think you and I have talked about in the past, and just trying to figure out where are things going here with Determine. You just did an earnings release announcement the other day. And, based on the last quarter, and what have we learned from last year in 2017? What are the things that we're looking for, and what can we glean from what we learned from last year?
Sure. The last year has been an interesting one. I'm going to say we're probably a year behind where we wanted to be as it relates to the product and getting it into market. But at the same time, we're probably moving faster now than I thought we would be at this point. So, if we got started a year ago selling the platform, it probably would have taken just as long to get to where the revenue is today. But what we've learned in that process is that what we planned and had a vision for back in the spring of 2014 is really coming to fruition or coming true. The marketplace was asking for and has been asking for a consolidated, started out to be a consolidated suite of products, but really has turned into they want more than that. They don't just want products that talk to each other or single sign-on or maybe synchronized back ends. They want a true platform of technology and services that are linked together and offer a greater amount of value than just having these things talk to each other. So, for example, we often sell our contract management system called Determine Contract Lifecycle Management, and that's linked to our supplier information management system. You never buy them standalone. You always buy them together because any supplier that you onboard, you also have contracts with. So there's a natural link there.
Right.
And outside of this platform, it's very difficult to manage the two, or it's just time consuming and takes a lot to put together. So the learning lessons of the past year have been a lot around the product, bringing the product together, making it stick together, make it in the marketplace from a stickiness perspective as it relates to customers buying it, using it. It's interesting if you compare it back to a few years ago in what ERP did, and in fact enterprise resource planning, and if you look at the human resource systems that were out there and financial systems and all these different things, these pieces that were together, SAP came along and they invented this ERP or enterprise resource planning system that put all of those pieces of technology together on a single platform, right? The next thing, and then you had all these big Salesforce automation systems out there and contact management systems and different HR systems that are related to whether it be managing customers and employees and or selling deals and generating leads, but they were all disparate, separate systems. And then Salesforce.com came along, invented customer relationship management. I think actually Tom Siebel invented the term, but Salesforce came along and really created a system that put everything on a platform. And interestingly enough now, Procurement is following suit. It's taken 20 years for Procurement to get here, but if you take a subset of those technologies and you look at contract lifecycle management, sourcing, supplier information management, and procure to pay, and all the things around those pieces of technologies, it's now called source to pay. And basically, it's all being delivered on a platform now, no different than CRM or ERP from years gone by, but now procurement actually just catching up. So really the main lesson that we've learned is that we're following the path of what customers want to buy, and we're offering it in the fashion of how they want to buy.
And it was part of a vision that we'd started 3 years ago with something that you instituted, and it's coming to a point now where maybe with SaaS and the flexibility of what we're doing that people are just expecting that more?
Well, that's a great point. The SaaS aspect of this is probably the key to all of it. Certainly vendors or suppliers have been offering suites of technology, either on-premise or maybe hosted. But true SaaS, being able to log in from anywhere, being able to get to your information, being able to approve a contract, being able to manage workflow in a pure SaaS environment is key. And multi-tenant SaaS even more key, so you can build on what you're already building as it relates to technology. And then another piece of this that's really interesting, again, similar to the revolution that Salesforce.com had in rolling out their technologies, they built this thing called Force.com, and they're able to actually build applications on top of that. We're going to be launching later this year what's called D3, which is very similar to Force.com, where our customers and partners are going to be able to build on top of our application and integrate it and launch it on the platform.
So you're bringing up another good idea that, something that we just released about a couple weeks ago, is this idea of change with this notion of something called platformance around the determined cloud platform. So we've gone through this change of an on-premise to a SaaS model, and now we're really experiencing this new concept that was really, I think, an inspiration for the company. I mean, we've seen stuff like Google, the Alexa, and you mentioned Salesforce earlier. In your words, what would you say was the inspiration behind the movement of this concept around platformance?
Yeah, I think movement is absolutely the right key word. Platformance is not technology. Platformance is a state of mind, if you will. It's a being. It's a movement. And not only are we looking to launch Platformance and provide that degree of customer satisfaction really for our customers. Again, it went from suites to a platform. And then if you take the performance that our customers are now achieving by launching on the determined cloud platform, putting the two together, platform and performance, gives us Platformance. The energy behind this stemmed from excellent marketing folks, including yourself, that were involved in interviewing our salespeople, customers, internal people, the development staff that's rolling this thing out, and what it meant to them. And I think, and in talking to our customers and what it means to them as it relates to having the ability to use the technology to achieve Platformance. And achieving Platformance is really about being able to manage workflow faster, save more money. Listen, everybody says they can save money. Right? Go to our competitors' website and they'll save you X amount of dollars, and one of them even has a little ticker on there that's showing you're saving billions every day. Well, you know what? That's great and that's fine, but everybody saves money. That's the whole point. Yeah, exactly.
That's the whole idea
of what we're all doing, and the one competitor puts it out there, but I bet you if you looked at another competitor, they'll have something similar. Well, guess what? We'll save you just as much or more money as anybody else that's out there, but it's more than that for us. We want you to have a fantastic user experience. We want you to be able to log on the system and be able to see one common UI or user interface while you're using it. We want you to be able to be on a supplier and click on a contract or click on an NDA or click on a catalog and add a supplier to a catalog during this whole process. We want it to be an experience while you're there. And by the way, be able to do it from your phone as well. Right. Not have to put the phone down, open up the computer. And at the same time, we want you to be able to go to a supplier, for instance, at any part of the system, whether you're in P2P or contract management or sourcing, and go to that supplier knowing if you make a change, that it changes for the entire system, because again, it's just one master database and one supplier. And again, usability from a performance perspective, if you look at uptiming and learning, think about your iPhone. Right. There's no manuals that come with your iPhone anymore. You just figure it out, and within 10 minutes, you're making calls, sending texts and emails, and the like. Similar with us as well. We don't want you to have to go through months of training and upskilling and learning how to use the system. We want it to be intuitive. So you log on. It's an easy and understandable user experience. In fact, it's modeled after the Google material design concepts of the user experience. So you talked about learning here a little bit ago. It's another thing, right? We're understanding in a SaaS world, it's got to be easy to use, and it has to be adaptable to my environment or a customer's environment. And usability is absolutely key.
So, in some way, what we're really saying there, and this Platformance, is it's the state of the experience of using the platform and what you're able to achieve basically
That's exactly right. So what are you going to achieve? You're going to achieve savings.
Yep.
You're going to achieve happier users. You're going to achieve potentially happy customers that you're selling to through easier to use contract management, clause updates. So everybody using the system. In fact, there's an interesting part of when you're achieving platformance, and that really is the whole view around empowerment, right? Or being empowered as an employee. And if you think about it, if you can achieve platformance and utilize a system that makes every single one of your employees more effective, more efficient, and empowers them to make better decisions. For instance, when they're buying things, if you have a catalog that's out there, regardless of some network that has a million suppliers on it or whatever, you like to do business with who you like to do business with, but you want to know you're getting the best deal. So being able to punch out and go to Amazon or go to Office Max or whatever is also very important. But savings is only one aspect of achieving platformance. So we want our customers to achieve all of those things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a great point. And would you say we're using as a differentiation for us?
Well, it absolutely is a differentiator for us in the marketplace. No one else can say they can help you achieve platformance, right? Yeah. We have a system that is truly built on a platform. It is truly one system, one code base, one user experience, and one database on the other end. So when you load the system up and start using it, and you're implemented, and you want to add other modules to it later, you just turn it on, just like you did with Salesforce when they first launched the SaaS, and today, here 15 years later, they're the most successful CRM company in history. And again, we have lofty goals as well, but we believe that the movement of platformance is what's going to really start acknowledging who we are in the sourcing and supplier management space.
Excellent. All right, so let me ask you one last question. So what do you anticipate in the next 12 to 15 months specifically for Determine and just kind of maybe the wider industry? I mean, just what does that mean for us next 12 to 15 months?
Sure. I think some of the key things from last year are going to continue and carry forward. For instance, contract management and supplier information management. That just seems to be what everybody wants in the marketplace.
Bringing those together
and being on having a single database with supplier and a easy to use user experience. So I think that's going to continue. But there are other elements of technology I think that are going to kind of come into play as it relates to big data, how that's managed, being able to use the internet, use the information that's out there to leverage your purchases, being able to understand that there's certain times a year or certain things that you do, patterns that you buy in can be achieved if you wait a day or wait a week or buy it a week sooner. We have a big project going on in France right now that's being supported by the French government around big data that actually is allowing us to build some of this functionality out. And I think that's going to be some of the key differentiators in the marketplace. But overall, from an industry perspective, you're going to hear more and more about platform, right? Everybody is going to be talking about it. They already are. You're going to be hearing more about wanting to be able to buy the technology and usability in pieces. I don't want to have to spend millions to buy the whole thing. I want to be able to buy just elements of the technology or maybe just start with contract management and then add different modules as I go along. And in fact, if my business changes, I want to be able to turn some of those things off. And that's I guess kind of the key things of our business and as going forward. But I think the major changes you're going to see around procurement is just more mobile. More big data, more things like that. The cloud is going to be ever present more than ever. I think you'll see very, very few on-premise purchases going forward now. It's kind of settled in. But I also think you're going to see the legal side of things talking more to procurement. I think they're going to start really understanding that they're talking the same game when it comes to contracts and buying things and selling things too, by the way. That not only can you save money and can you reduce risk of the business, but you can also enhance your selling, and you can have contracts and get more out of the deals that you cut with your customers and making sure that they're performing as a company. So I think those are some of the key things that are really going to change. But all in all, it's going to be around using the technology together and achieving that level of sophistication you need to run your business.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us.
Great. Bye-bye. Thanks, guys.